All right, so this is, I guess, a special improv podcast here. We just finished up the late model invitational event against Can-Am Racing Series. I'm here with Paul Miles and Matt Rolfe.
What's going on?
Yo. We actually did that backwards. He introduced me first and you second. So we screwed that up, I think.
We're just keeping them on their toes, that's all.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, the All-Star race is in the books.
It was fun.
It was an event. I'll put it that way. It was. I won't call it dirty racing. I mean, it was rough racing. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys all got rode pretty hard tonight. And it was interesting. It was our first televised event. It was our first event it was our first event with another league. So there was nerves, and then guys that you're not used to racing with. So it just wasn't a clean. It wasn't a clean race. It wasn't dirty. Just wasn't clean. Not how I wanted the race to go down. There was some iffy incidents and just.
It was very hard fought.
Yeah. I mean, guys weren't out there intentionally trying to get each other sideways, but
For the most part.
But if I were going to put together a script for how tonight goes down, what happened wasn't it. That said, Chalmers Parker and Justin Brooks and the Cars guys were absolute bullets, and Greg Netherwood was 100% professional in the race control chat session. So I mean, I've got no complaints with how their guys acted. Disappointed with one of the restarts. Disappointed with how the race went, but from a promoter point of view, I couldn't have asked them to do anything differently. So. I'm really glad that we've got this association going on with them, and I'm really looking forward to doing something else with those guys here pretty soon.
Yeah, running both series with them, I knew they've got a lot of good drivers. Going into it, I knew they'd put up a good fight with us. I didn't think that we'd have so many guys near the back that either wrecked out or whatever. I think they had either 7 or 8 out of the top 10 were their guys, which is great for them. They beat us. Well, like you said, I wish it kind of went down a little differently. I think from behind the scenes, it looked one way to us because we expected so much from it behind the scenes. But I think the broadcast will hide some of that. And I think the broadcast should be pretty good once they show that video.
Yeah, I mean,
good racing. So
yeah, it was racing. I think our guys just it just the brakes didn't go our way. I'm not trying to cheapen the win. We just when wrecks happen, it seemed to collect our guys more than not. So it just sucked for us. So, but that's the way it is. I mean, that's why you don't script these things. So, we'll take a look at the replay in the next couple of days. Guys will get faster, and we'll just keep moving on. And we'll look forward to the next special event we put up on the calendar.
I don't think it was as bad as you're making it out to be. I think it was an enjoyable race. I thought. I mean, running with those guys, it was a lot of fun, a lot of hard racing, and a lot of fast people, and a lot of bumping and a lot of shoving, and it's kind of what racing is. And I mean, I would have preferred it went a little more smoothly, but I still had a great time, and I had a great time with Cars, and those guys were good guys, and yeah.
It was scary mid-pack when there was one restart where we got going, and there were 3 wide deep about 5 rows back, and I was shooting up the middle through a couple people. People were passing me everywhere. We were all 3 wide going in the corners, and we made it somehow. I was really sketched out about it, but we made it through. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. If I had one complaint, it would be the restarts could have been better, but
yeah, that one restart got really jumbled up, but. From one point of view, it could be so-and-so's fault, but the other point of view is he was the leader. He can take off at his pace, and everywhere from him on back got jumbled up. I can't say it was 100% his fault, but everyone kind of messed that one up.
Well, it is the leader's show to restart on one hand. On the other hand, you know, the Netherwood told me specifically that Cars has a rule that you don't jackrabbit to start, and there's a pretty stiff penalty if you do. And the guy that did that is a Cars guy, and he knows it, and you know, he knew that we hadn't announced that we were using that rule. So I think he worked the system on that one. I'm not pleased with that restart at all. It took out half the field, and I just think, you know, it wasn't cheating, but it was definitely cheap. So that's just how I look at it, and I know pretty number of guys agree with me. So
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, you know, we didn't have their Jackrabbit rule in place for tonight, so you know, whatever, he got over on us that time.
Yeah. What is the Jackrabbit rule?
Basically, the rule is a guy can't fake that he's taken off. Oh. You know, if he guns it and then pulls it in and then starts, I forget what Netherwood said the penalty was, but there's a pretty stiff penalty for doing that.
Matt, just a second here. Matt, is Paul's mic acting all weird for you?
Yes, it is.
Do I sound the same way, or?
No, just Paul.
Okay. Yeah, Paul. Awesome. Sometimes it's just like your voice kind of gets all glitchy a little bit.
Good.
I just didn't know if it was just me that was hearing it, or if Matt was hearing the same thing.
No, it's Paul's fault. We blame him.
All right.
But we gotta place blame on someone every week. It might as well be Paul's fault this time.
Whatever. I'll take the EOL.
So give us a rundown of who finished where and who's getting what for prizes.
Well, first of all, you know, we need to thank again everybody who put up so many great prizes. You know, Matt not only put it together, but put up a huge first place prize. Gabe Fletcher got Excess Energy, put up a case of Excess Energy drinks. Gary Belling, who is putting together a new site called PaidToRace.com, put up some cash. Paul Boswell put up tickets to Montgomery Motor Speedway. Fast Track Sims put up some money, so you know there was a lot going on, and those guys buying in to a race that had never happened before. You know, the first time out, it could have gone a lot of different ways, and for them to commit to us was very cool. So first, the shootout winners, the guys that earned their way in earlier this afternoon. James Edens won our showdown race. He beat Clay Snyder, who ended up getting our provisional, and then Sean Breitzman from the Can-Am Series won their showdown race, and they'll be getting a prize package from Hal Racing, courtesy of Matt Eady. The other Hal Racing prize pack goes to Justin Brooks, who was the leader at the end of the first 25-lap segment. The grand prize winner, the guy that crossed the finish line first, Chalmers, everybody calls him Cody Parker from Can-Am Series. He gets the tickets to the NASCAR weekend, the Saturday and Sunday show at New Hampshire coming up in July. He also gets the free paint scheme from Matt Rolfe Designs, and he also gets the win money from I don't know. He gets some cash. He also gets a flag.
Paid to Race and Short Track Sim were the laps.
Yes. He gets the lap fund with from Fast Track Sims and also from Paid Race. The highest finishing car from both series, obviously Chalmers, who finished first, Chris Roberts, who finished 7th, which is a womp for us.
Yeah.
But Chris Roberts in the old 93C brought it across first for our guys, so he'll get a paint scheme from Matt Rolfe Designs. He also got Excess Energy drinks because he was running the Excess Energy contingency logo. He'll also get $10 from PaidToRace.com after the highest finishing Sarah driver.
I'm assuming that no one else ran the Excess Energy logos for Can-Am, so I believe that's why it goes to Chris Roberts.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody out there with it.
Yeah. Which one?
The Excess Energy. Got ExcessEnergy.com.
I had it on mine, I think.
Yeah, Chris
he beat you.
Oh, right. Well, you said you didn't see anybody else with it. I didn't know if...
Well, no, I was talking about their guys.
At the front of the pack.
way up there.
I was in the front for 16 laps. Okay.
There you go.
Um,
Better than I can say.
Sean Brightsman, Sean Brightsman was the highest finishing driver with the Matt Rolfe paint scheme, so he'll get an MRD T-shirt.
Woo.
And Randy Schreck will get the tickets to the Southern Super Series race at Montgomery Motor Speedway as a highest finishing driver from Club Mid-South or Club Florida.
Or the only driver from one of those clubs.
Or the only driver from one of those clubs. But
Still counts.
it still counts. A lot of Paul Boswell's Real Steel guys are starting to get involved, and I know Rocky Battenfield, I think, is from down that way. I think he's from the Florida Panhandle. Cody, help me out with the guy that won both races last week for us. Cody McCrawley is one of Paul's guys. So we're going to start getting some of those Mid-South guys and with us here pretty soon. So next time we do that deal, we'll have some more guys racing Randy for those tickets.
There's definitely a lot of prizes out there, and you got multiple people winning them. So at least there wasn't one driver getting everything.
Yeah, I'm glad it got spread around pretty good. Building some of the contingencies the way I did, it was specifically to spread around because 25 guys racing for one prize. It would suck to put all that work into it and not go home with anything. So
yeah.
there were a couple prizes to go out there and chase after.
Definitely interesting race, pretty fun. Yeah.
Hopefully, I can't wait to see the replay. It's gonna be, even though I was in the race for some of it, and it'll just be fun to sit back and watch and see what kind of airtime our guys got.
Yeah, everybody I've talked to so far, I know Gabe at Got XS was watching, Paul Boswell was watching, and they said they did a really good job covering the show, and it was there were a lot of caution laps, but when you get this kind of race going, that's going to happen. We finished under green, which I think is important for this race.
Yeah,
and the green flag laps that we did have. Was pretty intense. There were a lot of guys going 3 deep, and there was a lot of bumping and grinding. And most importantly for me personally, we got the invert done relatively cleanly. So we didn't look like a bunch of shaved apes out there on that deal. So
yeah, I was gonna say though, some of the things that we did, like the initial starting order, that went fairly smoothly. Like you said, a couple guys were out of position, but nothing major.
Yeah. Nothing affected the end of the race, which is really the most important thing.
Yeah, and the invert went about as probably not quite as good as it could have gone, but for the most part, it went very, very well.
Should we talk about the one penalty coming out of tonight's race?
If you want to mention it, go for it.
It's legitimate league news.
Yeah. Coming down to the stripe, one of our guys, Justin Rosenell, he claims he didn't, but I believe that he took out one of the Can-Am guys, and it caused a real shit show in the back of the field coming down to checkers. Rosenell just and then he got on the radio channel, and he just started running everything down, and he just really not what I want for Sarah, not what I want for this league. It's not the impression I want people to walk away from this race with for us, and it's really not the attitude that I want from guys that represent this league, either in weekly races or in special events like this. So because of actions on the track and because of conduct post-race and post-Thursday night's race and posts on Facebook and every other kind of post that he can get involved in, Justin Rosenell is being suspended for the final 3 races of the season. He's taken a 3-week benching because anything less, he would be able to absorb those zeros in his drops. We run a 10-week schedule with 2 drop weeks, so a 3-week penalty is an actual punishment. It's an actual slap on. It's more than a slap on the wrist. I want to let these guys know that from top to bottom, I'm not going to put up with bullshit. It's it is sim racing, it is a video game, and it is a hobby, and it is a way to get away from real life stress and everything else. But at the end of the day, we had sponsors watching tonight, and Rosenau's actions at the end of the race made us look like a bunch of goons.
Well, I don't think the people that were watching the stream could have. I mean, they saw we did it on track, but
Yeah,
I don't think they have the driver channel tuned in.
they don't. But on the other
Just
hand,
the
some of the
actions on the track kind of
yeah.
didn't look very good.
No, and his Facebook post afterwards. I obviously can't control that. I'm not NASCAR, but you know, there's a right way to act and a wrong way to act, and Justin brings a lot to the league on track. He's fast and he's more than willing to help guys with setups, but that doesn't excuse unprofessionalism. I expect a certain level of I'll just fucking call it maturity. We can all have a real good time and goof around and make fun of each other, but when you cross a line and you make it about you constantly like that, it's just unacceptable. And I just got fed up. And it is what it is. And he'll sit for 3 weeks, and he's welcome to come back in June when we start the next season, or he's welcome to look for another league.
That definitely shakes things up with the points.
It will. It guarantees that he won't finish first.
I know. I think
Uh,
Jared's in the catbird seat now. He's got a decent point lead over the next guy, but then after that, I think anything goes.
yeah. Um, it'll definitely shake things up. Justin had been walking away with it. He's got 4 wins in 7 races, but with the passing points and with the bonus structure that we have for this season, he really wasn't able to get that far out. He's got 107 points on Jared. I see 4 guys maybe that could potentially catch Rose now and finish ahead of him. And when you get into second, third, and fourth, fifth, from 2 through 9, there's not a whole lot of separation points wise. So it's the last 3 weeks now are completely up for grabs, and there's going to be a lot of jockeying for position in that top 10, and it's going to make for some interesting racing here to close out the season.
Now that we have the All Star race out of the way, we can now reach for first place in points instead of 10th place in points.
Yeah, we can start looking at a championship chase rather than a win and you're in race.
Yeah.
So, but having that deal in the middle of the season was really interesting to see that whole top 10 develop, and things, not too many positions were locked in right up there until last Thursday night's race. So
Yeah,
it,
they were fighting for the last spots up into the last lap of the race, so that was good.
yeah, absolutely. By the way, I just got a message from Gabe at XS. Tonight's race was pretty legit. He is on fire and very much interested in doing more work with us, unprofessional actions notwithstanding. So
If he wants to donate some extra energy drinks, I'll take some.
maybe we can hook him up with New Hampshire there. Maybe we
Yeah,
can get him something going with the Speedway. But and that's
I can
exactly
get
what this
if
race
I
was
get his
for.
contact info, I can give him a call, or not me myself, but a sales guy. I
Yeah,
can make
we'll
it happen.
we'll get something going. But that's exactly what this race was about. It was about promoting the league, and it was about showing. I said somewhere in part of my whole marketing campaign for this, we're announcing ourselves to the iRacing service. We're show. I wanted people to watch this race and see that we had quality drivers, and we have something to bring to the table. I've said it from the beginning. People are going to start looking to private league racing for this serious competition. People are going to start abandoning the official series and start looking for league racing to get their true racing fix. And I want to get out ahead of that wave and get the top guys. I want the Rosenaus and the McCauley's and the Boy Roses and the Palmers and I want all those guys racing for us, and the race didn't go down the way I wanted it to, but hopefully you guys see that we run a professional outfit here, and we'll start getting some new recruits. So
What do you mean by that, Matt?
Oh, Paul was just listing all kinds of names off, the Rosenau's and all this. He didn't mention our names though, so
How
whatever.
many wins? How many wins do you have?
Are we talking?
I'm there for every race.
Yeah.
I show up.
Absolutely. I mean, I name guys that I name guys that win just because I have, a list of winners in front of me. But I could also mention Chris Roberts, and I want more guys like Jesse and Matt and Mike Bellinger who bring a lot to the table outside of racing. Mike's been here literally since day one, and I call him the captain of the league because he's the guy I want to set the tempo off the track. When I say that, I mean he sets the mood, he sets how people act, and I want people to follow his lead for his professionalism. And Jesse taking on the task of rebuilding the website and doing the
Yeah,
podcast.
finally.
Finally, yeah, it's coming. It's a work in progress, and then Matt, with everything you've brought here, just with this one race, not to mention sponsoring a series and offering to give up, offering to take a pass on making money to help these guys get good looking cars on the track. I mean, everybody brings something to the table, and it's about putting all these guys together and making this whole deal bigger than what it is right now. So that's what this race was about to me. It wasn't about sending somebody to New Hampshire for the race weekend, which is great, but it's about it's a marketing tool for me. So
It's an all-star race showcasing our best drivers, and that's what it was all about.
yeah,
Process aside, it was for the drivers to have a good time and race against their best drivers and see what we got. Unfortunately, the finish didn't replicate what we wanted, but it was definitely a good event for everyone involved.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't the race that we wanted, but at the end of the day, the race is exactly what it was.
Yeah,
There's no real controversy for who won. There's a little animosity, but it's racing. It's like any other competitive sport. With a race with 25 guys, one guy's going to be thrilled with the result. There are going to be 25, 24 guys who are not happy. So that aside, this race was people finish exactly where they were going to finish. It was what it was.
yep.
There's to me there's no controversy with Chalmers winning. There are a couple things that didn't happen the way that maybe they should have, maybe they could have, but at the end of the day, the guy with the fastest car won. You know, um, Chalmers, he had the fastest lap. He had 19 laps led. He ran. The only car with he was the only car that ran clean. He had no incident points. He qualified third. He had a real low average lap. He was a quick driver tonight. He deserved to win. So I'm not taking that away from him at all.
Yeah, I run with him in Can-Am, obviously, and he's usually a lot faster than me in the fixed setup stuff. So I usually don't have any issues with him. I just let him by, and he goes on his way, and he usually finishes up front. So he definitely showed what he had, and he's a good driver. And big congrats to him. That was definitely a good run for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Sean Brightsman. Brightsman came out of the 22 starting spot. He raced his way in and he finished third.
Yeah.
So, and I thought James Edens was going to be that guy. Edens raced his way in. He started 23rd, and I thought he ran way up front. I saw him sniffing top five there for a while, and then fenders got bent and people got shuffled around, but we had a lot of guys pushing real hard through the field. Matter of fact, Chalmers started third, but Nick Silver finished second. He started 15th. Brightsman finished. He was one of the guys that started out of position. He started 23 instead of 20 or he started 22 instead of 23. Mike King finished fourth. He started 21st.
Well, I
Sean
think those
Casto,
starting positions are before we set the field, so
is that
I think so.
okay?
But it's close to what it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that started the back started the back. Casto came from outside the top 15. Chad Cole came from near 20. So I mean, there were a lot of guys. There were a lot of guys that push away through a real tough field. So those guys that finished, those guys that finish in the top 5, top 6, they earned it. They absolutely 100% earned it, and I'm not going to take any of that away from them.
And
I
Jesse
was
led a bunch of laps, so
16, but who's counting?
yeah.
I was.
I think you technically might be at 11 because I think you got credit for the 5 pace laps. Could be wrong.
Hey, those the
Somebody had to lead the field, right?
right.
Actually, you might have got credit for 4 of those because Brooks probably came in first through the pit road, and then you came out first after.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Either way,
I was happy to see that it wasn't one person that walked away with it. I was happy
Yeah.
to see some lead changes, and because it's I mean, obviously fast guy is fast, and a lot of people win a lot of races by a pretty large margin, and it just makes for a good show when the typical fast people that we race with, don't win. It's not you can't really decide the finish just by watching it when there's 20 to go. If somebody's beating the field by 5 or 10 seconds, and
Yeah.
just totally untouchable, it is what it is, but when it kind of comes down to this, and I was happy that no one person checked out and left, basically.
Yeah.
It looked like that's what Cody was getting ready to do, because he was putting some distance on second and third, but those guys were racing real hard together anyway. But
No, I mean, really anybody could have won this, and that says something to the parity of both leagues. That you put 12 guys from each league on the track, and any one of them could win. Tells you exactly what kind of quality both leagues have, and how deep both rosters are. I mean, even Ken Bellinger, man. Ken has been around forever. He's led 1 lap, but he's one of, and I don't say that to be negative. I mean, Ken comes out and he turns laps, and he turns clean laps, and
he's run more laps than I have. With the same amount of starts.
see,
Yeah.
I know that usually I really don't have much of a chance of winning any of these races that we have. Once in a while I do get a win, but I don't race every night expecting to win. I basically just race every night because it's fun to race with. We have a good league, and it's real fun to. So I don't come out to try to put a spanking on everybody and fucking get win after win after win. I basically just come out and do the team thing with Derek and Chris and on our private channel, and just kind of basically just race with the same dudes. I think it's
for those keeping score. Jesse has 3 wins and 71 starts.
That's one every once in a while.
That's about one. That's about once in a while. It's about once in 20 something.
Hey, I have beat Rose now fair and square, and I've also beat Chris fair and square, so I'll take it.
All right.
And my first one, I swear I still have some of these replays. I ought to load them up sometime and watch them. First one was the street stock win at Thompson with Kevin. Kevin was pacing. He was, I think, a few more laps he might have had me, but yeah.
Well, I don't. No, I'm looking at the result now. You're talking about Kevin O'Keefe, yeah?
Yeah, he wrecked. He was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he wrecked. He got into me and got pissed off that I didn't move up and just kind of let him through because I was only leading the race and everything. So that's one thing that gets to me is some people that they complain when they're raced hard for the lead. It's like you weren't giving me much room there, and I was like, yeah, no shit, I'm the leader. Fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm leading the race here. I don't block people because that's a good way to wreck both of you, but I don't ever try to block anybody. I will protect my line. I'll protect the bottom or whatever line I'm running. But I don't want to come down and chop somebody or something like that. But people are, geez, you weren't giving me much room there, and I was like, yep, I know, I won the race too. What do you think of that? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we were talking about before we started recording. Like when I think I said when I'm on the highway and I'm in the center lane and somebody starts merging on top of me, I don't yell at him, hey, this is my line. I adjust and I move out of the way so I don't wreck. Why that doesn't translate to racing, why people think that, people should just stay in their lane. I don't get it,
Or you have people that say, what is it? What's another one that people like to say? It's like, when you're racing in a tight pack and somebody gets pissed off that you ran right into the rear end of them, or somebody's on the brake suddenly or something like that, and it's just,
you want to get brake checked?
well, not even
Yeah.
that. It's like, I mean, you're all piling into a turn, and you don't know when the person in front of you is going to brake. You don't know the person behind you is going to brake, and you don't know the person on the inside of you. If they broke early enough to slow down, they're not going to push up the track or anything. And it's like, when you're racing in a pack like that, you can't go out there like you're trying to qualify. You have to race with other people. You're not racing by yourself. You have to give and take constantly. And some people just don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be wide open all the way around when you've got 4 or 5 other guys close enough to put a hand on your fender. So,
but I really don't have any complaints about tonight. I thought I was raced clean and hard, and even though there was contact that took me and a few other people out, I'm not pissed off. I'm not pissed off at whoever got into me. Just a racing deal. It's not. I'm not bitter that I lost, and might have had a legitimate shot to win some race tickets for my father and I. That whole thing. It's just,
You get free tickets anyways.
What?
Did you get free tickets anyways?
Well, he gets good prices on tickets, but who knows? But it was still fun. I still had a blast. I thought it was cool. We had the whole ETV thing going, and I had some of my buddies watching the stream. And once the replay is up on YouTube, and I'm sure my dad's gonna watch it and all that, so I'll watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I used it as a marketing tool to help grow the league, but for the guys that actually ran it, it was a pretty cool victory lap for the guys that have been around and have helped build this league to the point where we're starting to get recognized as a legit late model league. So it was fun to give these guys like you, Jesse, and Clay and Chris and the Bellinger brothers, the Bellinger boys, to give Mike.
They talk like brothers. They don't talk like.
They really do. Yeah, they really do. But it was fun to give guys like that a chance, and I really wish Sean Medling had been able to race. He was. I talked to him the other day. He was in Alabama, I think, for his stepdaughter's graduation. But for the guys that have been around for a while, it's nice to be able to do this for them so that they can get recognized for being a part of something that they've helped develop. The Saturday isn't Paul Miles admitting. The Saturday is you guys going out on a track and having a good time 2-3 nights a week, and there's a chance to kind of give you guys all a pat on the back for making this league what it is.
No, I mentioned to you guys that there's definitely a chance that we can be doing a big race like this again with a similar prize. So
that would be sweet. Would it be late models at New Hampshire again?
Well, the prize would probably be the tickets again. We can probably do whatever for the race, but
I didn't know.
There for whatever, yeah. I
was kind of wondering if, because I liked New Hampshire Motor Speedway on Facebook, and I was kind of wondering, I didn't know if I should like half expect them to have posted some link to the feed or something like that.
Nah, it's probably not that big of a deal to them.
Well, still, I mean, it's still publicity for the track and still generates interest. Et cetera, et cetera. I wasn't sure. That's all.
I made sure I sent over the logos and everything to ETV, but then again, I don't know how much they used since they didn't use everything we gave them. But it'll be interesting to see what they did put on the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the first step. I mean, I always equate iRacing to esports like Halo tournaments back in the day, and Major League Gaming didn't get to the point where ESPN was running highlights for them, so they had to build to it. So we'll build to the point where one day maybe New Hampshire does run the video of the race on a website. It'll take some time to get there, but we're working on it.
The icing on the cake would be if Matt could actually get the Sarah logo up on their thing and snap a picture of it.
I really wanted to do it this week, but there was stuff on track all day, every day. I'll get it up there eventually.
Do you guys do anything during the wintertime at the track? Like do you guys do any like snowmobile races or anything there or anything?
Nothing with racing, but they have what's called the Gift of Lights, and so this past year they had 2 million Christmas lights set up around like a 2-mile thing.
Wow.
That didn't go actually on the racetrack though, because they didn't want to plow it, but it went around the whole property and everything, and that was a pretty big hit.
That's some Clark Griswold shit right there.
That's the big thing that happens during the winter.
Well, wait a minute.
Here's a question for
Matt, if that were truly a Clark Griswold deal, instead of a Blackhawks jersey, since you guys don't have the whale up there anymore, what jersey would you guys be wearing? Would it be a Bruins jersey?
Uh, Probably, or maybe Manchester is pretty close by, which is they have a minor league hockey team, the Manchester Monarchs.
Yeah, very familiar.
Yep. I don't know. Beats me.
All right. I'm a hockey nut, so that kind of shit. That's what bothers me tonight. Is I want to know what hockey jersey you guys wear up there. That's what I'm worried about.
Hockey? What are you talking about? Hockey jersey?
The guy
Clark,
that
Clark Griswold wore the Blackhawks jersey.
Oh, right. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
the guy that runs the Facebook stuff and everything, and the one that does the podcast and the broadcast for the Speedway, he's a big Bruins fan. So every time now that the Bruins are in the playoffs, he's always posting stuff about it. So I guess if anything, it'd be the Bruins.
I got you.
Fucking Bruins.
You not a Bruins guy, Paul?
I am most definitely a Philadelphia Flyers guy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Bruins and Flyers are not the best of friends.
No, we're not friends. Actually, I don't think anybody's friends with the Flyers. Well, the Kings may be friends with the Flyers. We call the LA Kings West Coast Flyers because we just fucking sent them all over good players a couple years ago, and then they went out and won a Stanley Cup. So
Yeah.
I'm bitterly disappointed that my team hasn't won a Stanley Cup since the '60s, but I could be a Maple Leafs fan, so there you go.
Could be worse.
It could be worse. Could always be worse, boys.
My Facebook feed last week or some time ago, when the Bruins had some miraculous win or something, it was like that was all my Facebook feed was for like 100 posts.
Yeah.
It's like, God.
It's 4-1 and they came back and won. Yeah.
4-1, and it. I just Gabe Fletcher just reposted the meme. I guess you made it. It's your car sideways in the air, and the meme is "How do I race car?"
You didn't. I posted the link to that into the chat there, like a half hour ago.
I don't have the chat window up, but I just saw it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I put that together while we were doing this here.
That's pretty cool.
Did you see it, Matt?
Yeah.
How do I race car?
It's a pretty good shot right there.
Yeah, I tried to get it when the car was highest in the air.
I don't think it's as good as that little video clip you posted of I don't even know who it is, but the truck finishing on its roof.
Me, that was me.
That was you?
Yeah,
that was good. It's a couple trucks crossing the finish line, and then here comes Jesse on his lid in the old Clay Snyder position, and just goes, "Haters gonna hate."
It was. Did you see that too, Matt?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
I'll dig that out of my YouTube here. No, it was the last week 13 where they had the B car and the trucks running together at Rockingham, and I just came out of the turn, and then the truck just hit the wall and just flipped over, but then kept going down the straightaway, like perfectly against the wall. And yeah, I'll get a link to it here. Haters gonna hate.
But anyway, I think we should put a bow on this. That way, Jesse can just kind of cut it out and throw it online for everybody.
Yeah, Matt appears to have gone to the bathroom.
Of course.
But yeah, we'll
wrap it up in his stead.
Why don't you give a recap of what to expect this week, so we can kind of. It's kind of like a sign of relief. Like, okay, All-Star race is behind us. It's finished. Like even earlier today, like yesterday, I was like, it was just. And just had such anxiety prior to the race too. Like when we were taking the green and everything like that, I was just had the bubble guts going on. But now it's behind us. Yeah. It's finished. It's done. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like we can get back to business as usual with the last quarter of the season. So
right.
The Street Stalkers are going to be at Oxford Plains for the back end of those two races. Cody McCall, he kind of came out of nowhere last week. He won last week's race. Jamie Walker, another new name in the series, put it on pole. Kind of, they put a stop to Chris Roberts. Little run of domination there. Chris still has a pretty good lock on the point. He's 123 points up on Mike Bellinger in a points chase, but Bellinger usually always qualifies somewhere mid pack. If Mike can get a nice run and win a race or two here at the end, he might have something for Chris and take back to C. So
I'm only like 10 points behind Mike too.
yeah,
I could get yet another second place points finish.
you could finish in second back 1 point again. That would be something.
God, don't even remind me.
I felt so bad about that deal because I feel like I screwed you because I did the math wrong on my end.
Well,
Just
that was
kind of giving you an idea of where you were and what you needed to do, and I just felt like an ass.
no. I was still trying to win. That was when I was kind of teammates with Mark and Greg Hooks. We would do the team speak thing and everything, and it was Mark in front of me, and then Greg was obviously he had checked out and was winning the race, and Mark was like, "Geez, if I had known that it was coming down to 1 point, I'd have let you by so you could have had that extra passing point or what extra 5 points." And I was like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, well, it is what it is. And then now, huh?
You want to talk about nerves coming into that, like coming down to those last 2 weeks during that season?
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, every race was just so intense because it was Mike beat me by 1 point, so
Yeah, you guys were right there.
So the last couple weeks of that were just kind of real nerve wracking.
Yeah. No, that was a fun. Last season was real fun with the street stocks. I enjoyed it. And then now with the late models, now that Rosenau was kind of running over that series, 4 wins in 7 races and a couple poles, and it was kind of a foregone conclusion that was going to be his deal. Now that he's on the bench and he's going to eat at least 1-0, he's going to take 1-0 on his final scorecard. So, he's not going to win. That leaves it wide open. We're going to be at New Smyrna for a 110 lapper, and there are a lot of names up front that are right there. Boyros is 107 points back. He'll probably, if he finishes top 3 and gets some passing points, he'll take over the points lead Thursday night. Ray Farlow is 56 points behind Jared. Randy Schreck's 36 points behind Ray, and then it gets real tight. Robert Matthews is 13 points behind Randy in 5th. Matt Rolfe is only 2 points back of that, and then Chris Roberts is in 7th with a missed race. But two through 15 is really close. So there's about a 200-point spread between those 14 spots, and there can be a lot of movement to be made up there. There's a lot of ground to gain, and now that the leader only has 657 points on the season, you're going to see some movement. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be the series. That's going to be the series to watch here the rest of the month.
I think Chris has a pretty good shot. He only missed 1 week, so if that's one of his drops, and he's probably still right up there in the points.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Next week is going to be the final. Next week's going to be the final week where we're filling out the scorecard, and then the last 2 weeks we start getting into drops, and that's when everything gets crazy. That's when you're going to see a lot of changes made, because guys that ran weak at the front of the season, guys like Mike Bellinger. Mike dropped out of a couple races to admin for me when I missed, so those weeks are going to go away. Chris had a couple rough finishes, so one of those is going to go away. So you're going to see guys making up ground real quick the last 2 weeks of the season.
That'll probably drop me down in the points.
It's what really sucks is I've already missed 1 late model race, and I'll miss another Thursday, and so those will be obviously my 2 drops, and I've had so many other shitty races in the late models this season. So I just barely made it into the All-Star race, so I'm not gonna be looking too hot in the points. But I think I've wrecked on just about every race we've had so far with the late models this season. Is this the first season of the late models?
Second.
Yeah.
How many beers deep are you in?
What?
How many beers have you had?
Just 2. I have awful memory, and I just don't remember anything.
Apparently.
Hey, by the way, Gabe Fletcher just donated an ATI video card to the Sim Auto Racing Association.
He did what?
He just donated an ATI video card.
Which one?
The XFX 1 gigabyte 4850 HD.
4850.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that would. That's old. That's a good 5 or 6 years old.
Well, I'm running an onboard video right now. I don't have any video card in it, so.
Well, you better hope you have a PCI Express slot.
Yeah, I've even got a mini ATX board, so I don't know if it'll fit.
What is he putting that thing up for?
So that we can start doing our own broadcasts.
Oh, I didn't know if it was like for a prize for something. I got you now.
No, I've already got dibs on it.
We could, if I wasn't gung ho about racing every fucking thing that we have, then I could, doing your own broadcast isn't terribly difficult. That's just, I'd rather race than broadcast. That's all.
Yeah. Well, we'll work on that.
But so what?
I am going to ask you to admin the street stocks next season, but we'll talk about that later.
All right, I'll pretend. I'll be surprised when you tell me.
Yeah, just act surprised.
So what do we got going on Wednesday?
Wednesday we're gonna do a tour mod race. We're gonna start recruiting some drivers for the Sarah Tour, the Sarah Modified Championship Series, which will start June 26th. Haven't decided what track we're gonna do, but all the information will go up. I'm thinking New Hampshire. I don't know where your guys' heads are at. We'll just stick to the Magic Mile.
I'm looking at my race history now, and I don't think I've done any races at New Hampshire ever. So yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Have
you bought it
until
yet?
this week when you run every race there?
Yeah, I was gonna say I would need to buy it. I think.
Yeah. I'll send you a couple bucks so you can pick it up.
Is that gonna be still sponsored by Excess Energy?
No, we're transferring the Excess Energy to. I have a plan to do some more special events. Maybe not as big as this one, but to do something, do a series of annual events, kind of emulate like the Oxford 250, the Frank Kimmel Street Stock Nationals, do some stuff like that. And those will be one-off races that are non-points, non-league races that'll be open to anybody who qualifies for the show. So we're going to transfer that sponsorship over to those races. Because I kind of like that we're just racing for pride. I really, I kind of want to keep the weekly races where they're at and not really get guys too amped up to, run up front because they got to win a prize. We've got some really good racing now, and we're not giving anybody anything but a letter C to go on our number. So we'll try to keep the sponsorships aimed at these events where. They're kind of more open, or they're more publicized and kind of do more for the sponsor. The deal we had tonight was a lot better. Was a lot better deal for God Excess than the trucks would have been. So try to maximize their sponsorship dollar and try to put a carrot in front of some guys to come race with us and then come back to race with us in the weeklies.
All right, so I'm gonna have to change my. Are we going to have any naming sponsor for the modifieds?
I don't know, Matt. You know anybody out there that might want to put a New Hampshire Motor Speedway Tour Modified Championship Series on a league?
I'll keep my ears open.
Yeah. Honestly, Matt's deal with us for the late models. I just sent him a message and said, hey, if I gave you naming rights, would you be willing to hook some of these guys up on paint jobs? Because Jesus Christ, if I see that yellow, green, and black Florida number 7
Sean Medling
one more lap.
Yeah, there were a couple busted up cars.
Yeah, early on it looked like a fucking flea market out there. So, I just asked Matt to hook us up to get some better looking paints on cars. So, I'm not against having a naming sponsor, but I'm not too actively soliciting anybody because the weeklies are cool and 20, 25 guys see it, but these bigger events like tonight, a lot of people saw Matt Rolfe Designs, and a lot of people got excess energy, and that's where if I'm a marketing guy, that's where my dollar is better spent. So
Yeah, I got you. Because my modified paint had excess energy on it. I mean, I could just keep it, but I usually try to help out, whatever naming sponsor or organization Paul has a boner for.
well, we will. You and I will have to talk about that got excess deal after we stop recording because there might be some incentive for you to keep that because Gabe Fletcher's a big Jesse Potter number 81 fan. The funny thing is, I think I might have told you before we started recording, but Gabe gave us a random number for the invert today, and Jesse had run the got excess energy paint on the trucks when we were doing those races, and they're friends on Facebook and they've talked a little bit or whatever. So when I said, hey, give me a number for the invert, he said just invert it so Jesse's up front. I said nah, I said I kind of bullied the Can-Am guys, so it could be an open set race, and I don't want let's be fair about it. I said just give me a random number, and the first number he gave me was 59, and I'm like, are you watching the race? And then he said invert down to 12 cars, and guess who I got to when I counted down to 12 cars?
Me.
Yeah. Yeah, so 12 car invert tonight, and Jesse was sitting in 12th, so he got to lead the parade around for a while, and was actually doing a real good job holding the guys off. And I think you just started to end up losing your line a little bit. I think I saw you just started to run high, and somebody got under you. And
no, it was the restarts. Restarts there, so you can get a real good run on the leaders at that track on the restarts, and that's all that happened. People you can really jump the start. You can kind of ballpark it to when people are going to go. That's why a lot of people were lagging back tonight. Like people were back entire rows for some restarts.
Yeah.
So that way you can still be on the gas like to the floor, and the leader hasn't even gone yet. And by the time the leader does go, you've already got so much more momentum, and that's all that happened. Was just somebody got by me, and then I was put up on the outside, and James Edens got into me, and then in the middle of turns 1 and 2 pushed me, and I just got me way, way high, and it got me way slow and shuffled me back to like 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
But that's what happened there. No big deal, just a racing deal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So.
Well, I mean, all you guys now have an official start in the Cars Late Model Tour. It's a non-points race, but it counts. I'm just on their website, and they just posted the race data to their site. So
I'll have to read it. Anyhow, so yeah, we're trying to wrap it up here, but before we're done with all these just for fun races, I think it would be so much fun to run late models with the tour mods. It's somehow when you have multi-car classes or multi-car races, can you make one run fixed setup and one not?
Wait, start over. I didn't hear what you said.
Say if we were to do a session with just these for fun sessions that we've been doing, the kind of recruiting stuff. If you have multi-cars, if you want one to run fixed and one to be open, can you do that?
I would have to look. I'm not 100% sure.
So it would be sweet if there was a fixed setup. Actually, no, you could just do both fixed and put like a weight penalty on the late models the modifieds, because depending on the track that'd be faster. But just if we could run tour mods with late models, I think that would be a cool one-off for fun kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. But so Wednesday we're gonna do tour mods, and you're not sure where yet.
No.
And Thursday, where the late models at?
The late models are at New Smyrna.
Oh yeah, that's right. That'll be fun. Shit, I won't be able to do it. Fuck. And I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast earlier this week, but I think Stafford claimed my G27. It was a casualty. I think it was Stafford when it broke. It was like the optical encoder ring to determine like where the wheel is. It fucking cracked, and I think it was during that race because that's when like I had to keep my wheel turned like 30 degrees to the right, and I didn't have any wheel damage. So yeah, I think that's when that was. Probably one of the times I hit Matt.
Yep.
Probably.
I'll take some of the blame for that one.
But so yeah. So I guess we'll just leave it there then, and we'll wrap it up.
And as long as we're wrapping it up, I guess we can send out a big congrats to Cody Parker for the win. Big
I'm gonna
congrats
call him Chalmers because he's a Can-Am guy.
Yeah, when you guys were saying Cody, I was like, who the fuck is Cody?
Everyone calls him Cody. I don't know.
It's the same thing with the kid that ran with us last week.
Yeah.
William McCauley. He prefers Cody.
Then why not have it changed? Why not message iRacing and have them change your fucking name? You can do that.
I don't know. Maybe they're busy not living life in a drunken haze.
Yeah, right. That doesn't sound like any fun to me.
But yeah, so big congrats to him. Big congrats to all the drivers that made the show. Big congrats to you, Paul, and to Greg for the admins running each show. I think we put on a good race for everyone watching. Big congrats to all the sponsors that were involved because they got a lot of publicity out of it, I'm sure. So just everything, big congrats all around for that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good to get into a race like that with a lot of series regulars that we race with 3 or 4 times a week. That was good.
Yeah.
I had fun. I had almost.
Next time we'll have to step our game up and kick their ass a little more.
Yeah.
And next time Sarah runs 1 through 5.
Yeah, that's what you were calling. We might have been able to do that. It seems like more of our guys got wrecked than more of their guys, I think. Or am I wrong?
It seemed like our guys were always getting caught up and sent to the rear. Their guys got involved in some stuff too, and then there were the 3 oh my god wrecks. But it seemed like our guys were getting shuffled to the back, and sometimes that's just the way the race is.
Yep.
It wasn't that our guys were getting spun or whatever, but we're just racing.
Yeah.
It was fun. I had a good time. And maybe we'll have a rematch or something like that. Maybe us and Can-Am will kind of have this. We'll have a dogfight every once in a while or something.
I think they're definitely open to that. So
That'd be fun.
We need at least a rematch, and if we win the rematch and we go trilogy,
that'd be epic. And maybe we can. No, never mind. I won't say it. Anyhow, so yeah, it was a good week. All-Star race is finally behind us, and yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say.
No. I just we'll just wrap it up with Matt. Give yourself a pat on the back, man. You did a hell of a thing with this race.
Yep. A lot of pretty big prize giveaway.
Yeah.
And it was cool once it kind of started snowballing, and people heard of all the prizes that were going into it, and anybody that had something to give away was like, "Fuck it, I'll do it too," and ended up with like not a dozen, but
We had
there was that one day where. Go ahead.
I think we ended up with 7 or 8 different sponsors, and we ended, it was originally just going to be a winner takes all, and then, we ended up doing stuff for guys from Club Mid-South in Florida, and, the top guy from each division, and, the guys won the shootout races, and, it ended up, we were able to spread everything out a lot. It was pretty cool how it worked out.
You had that one day where you posted about 5 different posts on one day with all kinds of sponsors that had joined up.
Yeah. Yeah,
kind of spammed us a little bit, but it was worth it.
Oh, absolutely. And, I think we'll be able to roll these guys into other big shows that we do. So it'll just keep growing, man. This was a good thing. Results weren't what we wanted, but I think the long game, it's going to work out in our favor.
I thought about doing a thing. I was telling Clay about it earlier this morning, like buying like a Papa John's online gift card to whoever came in last. It's just like order get the loser a pizza or something.
Yeah.
And it almost would have went to me. 23rd.
Well, would have gone to Clay. So.
Yep. Could have bought Clay, and maybe his wife wouldn't have gotten sick.
No, she probably still would have gotten sick.
Yeah, probably. Anyhow, we'll see everybody back here in just a few days.
Right back at it Tuesday night. One day off. One day off to straighten out your fenders and refill the gas tanks.
I'm gonna need more couple days to straighten my shit out. The shit is broken.
I just see Robert Duvall in the pits right now, kicking your one non-bent fender.
Trying to salvage it.
What'd you do that for? Wasn't busted. Didn't want you guys to get lazy.
Anyhow, we'll go ahead and end it here. We'll see everybody. Thanks for if you watched the race or if you were in it. Thanks for participating in some way. If you donated some stuff, thanks a lot. And
if you didn't, we'll be giving you a phone call.
you can count on that.
All right.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Bye.